Welcome back to another episode, everyone, of Crankin' with Christian. And today we are going to be talking about the best beginner swim bait to get into swim bait fishing, big swim bait fishing, anything like that. It's starting to really come around. It was mainly out west for a long time, and then here within the past few years, people all over the country have gotten into throwing huge swim baits, and really they can be really intimidating for a lot of people. I know when I first started throwing them, it was intimidating, and this one bait really helped me get confidence and really get into liking throwing swim baits, and then it got me to where I'm throwing bigger swim baits today. So anyways, let's get into what bait that is. You guys may be able to already tell what bait the best beginner swim bait is going to be. I got it on this rod over here, and I got some over here, but we're really going to be talking about one specific bait. If you guys don't like hard baits for swim baits, I've got one type of soft swim bait that is also a really good beginner swim bait for if you're throwing soft baits, and I've got a few other recommendations. But the one absolute best beginner swim bait to throw has to be the Buka Baby Bull Shad. Now this is made by Catch Co., which I know some people were skeptical about at first, since Catch Co. is relatively new, but Mike Buka would not put out a bad product, that's for sure. I've been throwing these things. They swim really well, they look good, the colors are awesome in it, and they work. They already got good hooks on them and everything, so I really like these things. Now, real quick, we're going to talk about a few of the brights of this bait, and the reason why I think it is the best beginner swim bait. So, with this bait, it is 3.75 inches long and is 0.5 ounce. With that being said, this bait can be thrown on pretty much any rod. You don't have to get a super heavy rod for if you're throwing big baits like a big bull shad, like a 7, 8 inch bull shad. If you're throwing stuff like S wavers, like river to sea S wavers, Gan crafts, all of those things, Roman maids, and really any type of swim bait, you don't need a big bulky swim bait rod. With this bait, you can throw it on anything. I'll talk about my specific rod I throw it on in a second, but you can really throw this on any medium heavy rod or heavy action rod. So that's one of the biggest benefits is this. It's a cheap way to get into swim baits. Now another thing that makes it a really good option to get into it and see if you like swim bait fishing is it retails, I believe, at $14.99. At least when I got this, it was. Now they also have the bull gill, which is like their bigger version, the baby bull gill, something like that. It's like the bigger version of a bluegill type of swim bait that looks just like this. It's a little bit of a different shape though. It looks more like a bluegill style bait, and I'll put that in the same category as this. So any of Mike Buka's baby bull series baits. But yeah, so the first two perks of this is it's cheap. It's $14.99 for one. For a swim bait, it is cheap. I know $14.99 to some people for a bait may sound expensive, but this is cheap for a swim bait. Cheapest swim bait probably that you'll find, what you get for it. And then it is easy to throw on absolutely any rod. Now, with this, I believe they swim just like the bigger bull shads. Of course, they're not like hand carved like what the bigger bull shads are. They are like a plastic, but they do work really good. They swim really good. So you got good lifelike action with this bait, and it catches fish. You really don't have to change out hardware on it. The hardware on it with the O-rings and the hooks are already pretty good. If you want to, you can though. There's always going to be people that do. So that is why I think this is one of the best beginner swim baits. So since it is also so small, it's at 3.75 inches, it's easier to throw. Some people will believe in it more because it's not big and bulky, so they think those smaller baits like that are going to help get fish to bite. With the bigger baits, I know a lot of people are scared to throw them because they don't think fish are going to eat that size of baits. So that's why this is good, because this is a 3.75 inch bait. Now, from this, what I would do is I would start throwing this around. Once you get comfortable with it, move up to the 4 or 5 inch bull shad, and then once you're comfortable with that, you can move up to a 7 inch bull shad if you want. But definitely the best. Real quick, we'll talk about what rod I throw the baby bull shad on. So this right here is a Dobbins Fury 765 flip. It is my flipping rod, but it's got a nice, it's a heavy rod, but it's got a nice soft tip to it. So with the treble hook baits like that, you're not going to rip it out of fish's mouth. It works really good. Now I've got this with a Daiwa Tatula CT, and I've got 20-pound fluoro on here because, like I said, it's a flipping rod. So I've got fluorocarbon on here already, and it works good for bull shads or swim baits and stuff like that too. You're not going to have to worry about breaking it. Now you could go down to 15-pound line with this little bait. Just since it's smaller, you can get away with that. It's not going to be too big of an issue. But really, I would say 7.2 to 7.6 medium heavy to heavy action rod is going to be good to throw these baits on. You can get away with throwing it on other stuff though. If you like spinning rods, throw it on a medium heavy spinning rod. If you like lighter rods, if you don't have a heavy action rod, throw it on a medium heavy rod. It's not going to matter too much. That's just what I prefer throwing it on, and what I've found works really good for it. So there's the baby bull shad on the Dobyns Fury. And I know if some of you guys are the Mike Bucca fans, you guys will notice that it's been on one website on Facebook, or page on Facebook, on the Swimbait Nation page, I think, or Swimbait Universe, and that it is out that Mike Bucca is coming up with a bull shad specific swim bait rod with Dobyns. When that comes out, I will be purchasing one. So I can't wait for that rod to come out because I really want a specific bull shad rod, and that'll be great. Anyways, now that that's off and you guys know what I think about that bait, let's get into what I think is the top soft plastic swim bait. And really, that would be a real simple answer. Just to go with the simple way of it, I could say that what I think is the best soft plastic swim bait is a Kitech style bait. Anything like that, like a 4-inch Kitech style bait on a owner flashy swimmer 3/8 ounce swim bait hook. But I'm not going to go with that. I'm going to go with something a little bit bigger, and that's still working really good. So that is the Megabass Mag Draft. Now this is like a 6-inch bait. That's a 6-inch bait, so it's not a massive bait. It is a good size bait, but it's not massive. And I believe they're like an ounce and a quarter, something like that. A lot of the writing on this, it's an ounce and a quarter, but a lot of the writing on these things are Japanese, since Megabass is a Japanese company. So yeah, that's a really good bait. It's a little bit bigger than your normal Kitech style swim bait. It has the same action. It's got a treble hook on the bottom, and it works really good. I have this, and this is like a rainbow trout, some type of trout color on it. Nude rainbow, that's what it's called. And I've thrown it some, got some fish on it. They work really good. And if you don't want to throw those big baits like the Huddlestons and stuff like that, these work good. So I would highly recommend this bait if you're also wanting to get into swim bait fishing for soft baits. But this is really good because it comes in, I believe, they're anywhere between $12.99 and $14.99. I found them everywhere between that. I think Tackle Warehouse has them for $12.99 or $13.99. But anyways, 12 and 15 bucks is what they'll come in at. So it's on the cheaper end. They work real good. They swim good. They're not a huge bait. They're not super heavy, so you can throw it on a pretty wide variety of rods. The only thing I wouldn't suggest throwing this on is a medium heavy rod this time. I would definitely go with a heavy, because I wouldn't want to get right to the either peak of that lure rating on that medium heavy, or right above it. I wouldn't want to risk it just so you don't damage that rod or break it or anything. So I would definitely go with a heavy. So like this Dobyns flipping rod, pretty sure it's rated for 2 ounce. So yep, quarter to 2 ounce. It can easily handle baits like this. So that is the soft swim bait that I would definitely get to start off with fishing if you're wanting to get into swim bait fishing. Like I mentioned earlier though, that one baby bull shad is really good for getting used to it before you move up to bigger baits. Now if you don't want to throw something this small, because this is fairly small, that's why I do like it, because it is fairly small and it gets a lot of bites. Just doesn't get as big of bites. If you want to start with something a little bit up, and it is a little bit more expensive, but it's also a really good beginner swim bait because they work good, and that it catches fish, and it's still not on the very top of the price, or like top end of swim bait fishing, but it is up there, then I would recommend the bull shad. This is a 5-inch slow sinking bull shad right here, or actually 5-inch fast sink bull shad right here. It's the smallest bull shad I believe that they make other than the baby bull shad. This is gizzard shad. This is one of my favorites. But anyways, these things are amazing. Now, they do come in at like $49.99 or $54.99, so they're a little bit more expensive than the baby bull shad. That's why I'm recommending this, so you know if you like swim bait fishing first. But it pretty much has the same action, same everything as that baby bull shad, just at a little bit bigger size and a little bit heftier price tag. This is 5-inch, and I believe it's an ounce and a half. So it doesn't say what ounce this bait is on here, at least that I'm seeing. I may be overlooking it, but I believe it's like an ounce and a quarter, ounce and a half, somewhere around there. So you do need more of a swim bait specific rod like that. That's what that Dobbins swim bait, or the bull shad swim bait rod, is going to be good for, and that's why I'm going to get it for this bait right here. So anyways, hopefully you guys enjoyed hearing a little bit about my thoughts on the best beginner swim baits to throw. The bull shad definitely will get you bites. You won't get bored with this, and it'll teach you to love swim baits and have trust in them before you move up. So definitely would recommend picking up that bait. They can be hard to find. Here lately, I haven't been able to find them in many areas, and when I can, I usually pick them up. So anyways, hopefully you enjoyed today's video. Hopefully you enjoyed listening to a little bit about swim bait fishing, and we're going to do more swim bait fishing videos. I know we don't really do many of them, but we'll do more of them here this upcoming season, maybe this winter, or this fall really, because it's still technically fall, and get some big fish on camera. So anyways, thank you guys for watching, and we will see you guys in the next video.